I'm Kyle Russell with Arkansas Wushu. Let's go ahead and open up. Alright, welcome to our class. So for today's class, I want to use the Wing Chun dummy a little bit. It's just one of my favorite training tools. If you have one, great. If you don't, a lot of these exercises can be done on a pole or a heavy bag or something similar. So we're going to start off with just some simple exercises we could do on a heavy bag. So we're going to warm up with some low kicks. We're going to start with a chopping kick. You're going to lift your knee, turn it sideways and down to a low kick. So again, if you don't have a dummy, go ahead and use a Wing Chun or a heavy bag or whatever you've got. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to do 8 repetitions of 8 today. 7 and 8. Good. Getting a bag or a pole or anything is all good for conditioning. You want to try to aim for the instep or higher. Try not to hit just the toes. The toes are real brittle, so if you're throwing all that force and you hit the toes, you're likely to damage your foot. Try to get past the toes to at least the instep, preferably the shin. Okay. It's going to be hard to do on this low kick. So chopping kick, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so we're going to move that kick upwards and keep practicing that same kick. So next, I'm going to go under this arm, thinking knees, leg kicks could be to the center of this muscle, could be to the center of this muscle, depending on the height of your opponent. So let's go ahead and chop down on that one as well. We'll do, we'll drop these to 5. We'll do 5 chopping down on each side, and then we'll do 5 straight across. All right. 1, chop down. 2, so bring that knee up high, turn it, and then down. 3, 4, and 5. Other leg, same kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now I'm going to do just a straight round kick. Be a low kick to the legs. So again, lift your knee, turn it sideways like you're wanting to put it up on a table. And as you turn it sideways, pivot this back foot. And when you pivot that back foot, throw that kick on out. It helps to use this hand that you're kicking with and pull it down towards your waist. It does open up your face a little bit, but they should be out of range unless you step in. So we do want to pull back. Or if we do step in, we want to come in with our own strike so they're busy blocking and not busy striking. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so let's go a little higher, keeping that same kick. Still working the round kick. And again, you don't have to have the dyno for this. You could do this on a pole. You could do this on a heavy bag. But I want to go up and kick over this first arm and under the second arm. So I'm taking low ribs here. If they've thrown a punch high or something, I want to take that rib out with a round kick. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to throw that round kick high. You see they've got their hands up. So if their hands are up and we try to throw that, there's a good chance it'll get blocked. So I'm going to do a bit of an off step, come around almost to the back of the head. That way it's a little harder for them to block, a little more out of their peripheral vision. So do a step, lift the knee, turn the leg, kick with the foot. All right, I want to do that 5 times on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so that gets that kick up, works it low, middle, high, anywhere we want to throw the round kick. So let's go ahead and do the same thing to the front kick. One thing is I want to try to pull those toes back and hit with the heel, no matter where we do, where we hit with that front kick. So the first one I'm thinking, they go to step in, we're kicking the shin, right? We see them coming towards us, so we're just going to stop their advance. Whatever their plan is, it's going to change it. And that's what we want to do, is make sure nobody's playing anything. Okay, so we pull the toes back, hit with the heel to the shin, and come back. Let's do that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side, same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I want to keep throwing that front kick. Again, I want to step off to the side a little bit, just to have this arm my way, so it's going to be like they just got done throwing a kick and are stepping down. What I'm looking for here is what they call a lower abdomen kick. If you're not familiar with that, there are certain styles that allow for a lower abdomen kick. It's a kick that's below the belt, but above the rope. And you kick that itty-bitty space in there with your heel. Not many people are used to getting hit there, so a lot of people are pretty sensitive to it. I believe Ishner is one of the styles that uses this a lot, as well as kicking the inner thighs. Most of their kicks are low. So that's what we're aiming for here. If we do happen to miss and hit the growing, then great, we still hurt them. Okay. 1, again, I'm stepping off just to get that height. Pulling the toes back to kick with the heel. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side, same kick. I'm going to move this A little bit further away from the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so the next one, I'm going to be working on precision a little bit because I've got to go above this arm and below this arm without hitting my toes on anything that will hurt. And I want to go right in the middle and come back, trying not to hit this bar and not hit this bar. It's fairly decent space. Again, if you don't have one of these, you could draw a circle on the wall or whatever you need to do just to make a specific point to put your heel in and come back out. Okay. 1. Oop. So I was trying not to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, I'm not going to bother to throw this one high today. You're generally not going to use it high. You might, but it's rare. So let's get into another principle. One of the principles that I like. I learned from some people who taught Shaolin Kung Fu and some that learn Wing Chun. They say it's never a good idea to just block. We always block and counter. And I've seen this work in fighting principles where if you've got someone fighting and you just never stop throwing strikes, they never stop throwing blocks. And as long as they're throwing these blocks, they're not throwing hits back at you. So you can just strike continuously until you see an opening and then take it because they're so busy worrying about this and that. To avoid that, certain styles have made it to where every block comes with a strike. And that's when you see like the outward block and strike at the same time, the downward block and chop. You'll see the push and vertical, all sorts of these little techniques. So we're going to do a couple of these where the block comes with a counter. First one we want to do is an outward block and a straight punch. If you've taken Chuan Fa or Kempo, you might recognize this from opening Cal, where you turn and do an outward block and punch at the same time. Same concept, right? If they throw a punch, grab your shoulder, whatever, it's just as you're blocking, you're hitting. And we may have to change that a little bit. So I'm going to do it with a dummy. That way you can kind of see how it is with a tight guard. Like if I'm going down here, it's very awkward to throw that with a flat punch. So I'm going to have to alter that to a vertical to fit it in that area. So that's what I'm going to do first is an outward block and a vertical to the stomach. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so if I want to do that more how the defense works, if you think about it, when it comes out, it comes from the outside of the arm, not the inside of the arm. So I know if we're on the inside of the arm, there's a chance that we're going to have to use verticals instead of flat punches unless we want to change techniques. If we're on the outside of the arm, it's easier to throw that flat punch at almost any level. It's just whenever we get inside that it becomes really tight and hard to throw, and it works out better with a vertical punch there. Okay, so let's do 5, stepping to the outside outward and flat punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that's one example of the counter and punch. Let's take a look into the Shotokan style. What if we look at something like Heian Sanban? Second movement, right? They go from the outward block. We have this downward and outward block at the same time. Both. Well, what we can use that for is pulling one hand down as the other hand comes and strikes the head. So we're pulling this arm down, and at the same time it's pulling down, this one's coming up. Because these arms won't move, I'll have to do a glancing blow. That's what I want to do, is step in. One's to the, sorry, I have to do the form. The outward block should be to the outside and the downward block to the inside. So when we do this, it's going to glance to the inside and block. 1, so we can hit there. 2, even though they're not at the exact same time, they are moving at the same time. We're hitting the arm, pulling it out of the way, and striking. If we went the other way, we could pull them into a temple strike. 3, I guess we still could. 4, but on the outside we also have back of the head, which is where I would direct that strike. And 5, I would probably step in and do a back fist instead of just doing a hand fist, honestly. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So when I see that motion, it often reminds me of another Wing Chun motion where they step up and hit double arms to the inside. So generally, this low block is going to be blocking a kick. This high block, you're going to want to do a upside down chop and hit the side of the neck as you knock them out of the leg. So let's go ahead and do that technique 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you will often see that blocked here instead of hitting here because it makes it easier to transition one move, and there's a chance that if they bring their hand up and hit, they're going to block. And if they do that, you want to be ready to pull into the next strike. All right. Since we have the dummy out, let's go ahead and go over the section 1 of the Wing Chun dummy form. Just something a little bit different today. We've been covering forms. We've been doing Chuan Fa basics. We did a little bit of Shotokan. Haven't really done any Wing Chun. So the first block I want you to learn is just with the palm up, right? So you're bringing the palm up in between the arms and hit it here. So that 5 times with each arm. 1, you want to condition the outside of the arm. 2, again, you can do this with a pole. 3, right there. 4, and 5. Now the other side, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll notice my energy there is focused mostly up, not so much outward. So I'm coming up in there, not pushing out because I don't want to over rotate. All right, so my next technique is just going to be a palm heel, kind of sideways to the face. And this is getting towards handy to have a dummy with pegs. They make them without, but having the pegs allows you to push and pull on the arm, kind of simulate more of pulling the arm straight or bending it to give you a bit of that realism to it. Again, it's not necessary to have exactly this. It's just 2 poles coming out of a block of wood. You can fashion one out of dowels and a 2x4 and still get a good practice in. Okay. So after we do this outward block, we're basically just doing a palm heel or a slap right here to the side of the face or to the side of the jaw. All right. So it's 1, 2. We could even do them together. We're not going to right now. Or actually, let's do 3 with them separated and then 3 together to see how it adds speed to the technique. Because the first technique, we're just getting their hands off of us or stopping the punch, right? And then a strike. So let's do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Other side. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so this is where we get our first little hook hand, because right after the palm heel, we're going to grab and pull them in, pull them towards us. So it's going to be block, palm heel, pull. On the other side, block, palm heel, pull. All right, so this will be pulling with the backhand as well. So if we look at this, it's 1, blocking up. Or sorry, we didn't do the 3 with them at the same time, did we? Let's do that again. 1, 2, and 3. Other side. 1, 2, 3. All right. So advantage, of course, is speed. You get to strike in faster. Disadvantage, if that's just a reaction, you may have hit someone who's more friendly than what you expect. All right. So moving on, we hit here. We do our palm heel, and we hook. As we hook, I like to go ahead and grab this. Just good to get in the habit of always trapping the hand. All right. So 1. Other side. Or 2. We'll do the other side just yet. And 3. Other side, same thing. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so let's do it at the same time to see how that affects things a little bit. 1, 2, and 3. Other side. 1, 2, and 3. On the dummy, it definitely has a better feel to do one after the other and smells a little fluer, or flows a little smoother. So that's how we'll continue to do that, is one after the other. Okay, so let's say you did the upper block, you did the palm heel, you pulled them towards us, but nothing really happened there, right? So we're going to turn that elbow and hit him in the face with the elbow. As we pull down, we're hitting there. So it's going to look like we hit the forearm there. That is often used as a block as well. If you see a punch coming, sometimes, this hand's being pushed down so you can't get it back up. So you may just turn that elbow to block it and come back. It is a common Wing Chun block. Okay, so let's do just that block 5 times, and then we'll do that combo 5 times. And I'll go over it slowly and count it out to kind of help with it. So one, just step up, drop the wrist, and strike with the forearm or hit with the elbow to get that block in. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I really like about these blocks is the folding aspect, because I can step in and then unfold a back fist and come right behind it. It works for me to fold here, hit here, fold sideways, come down. I can always use that. It's what I call folding and opening, because I'll create my opening by folding in. I'll have them trapped or whatever, and then whenever I open for distance, I'll generally get a hit in. I'll come in, and if they grab it, then I can just fold to get closer, and then when I open it again, I'll get my hit in then. So let's go ahead and do that whole little section with the Wing Chun dummy. So 1, go up and block. Just bring the hand up. Do a palm heel. Grab the back of the head. Pull. Elbow strike. And that's as far as we've gone so far. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so right that block, they kind of use the aspect I was telling you about and unfold, except for they do it with a turn. So from here, after they hit, they simply turn the block up. If they do have an arm, or if they did hit the head, it smacks the head back up, right? Or smacks the arm back out of the way. And as it does that, strike to the side, doing a kidney shot with a palm heel. So if we look at that in the air, it's block, palm heel, grab and pull, hit, step up with an outward block and push, or strike, depending on what you want to do. You can push them away, or you can palm heel the kidney for more damage. Other side, you're doing block, sorry, it's the same side, block, palm heel, pull, strike, and hit here. Let's do it 3 times in the air, and then we'll do it 5 times on the dummy. So 1, it's block, palm heel, pull, elbow, up and push. 2, block, palm heel, pull, block, push out of the way and palm heel. 3, forget which side I did. Other side. So now we're going to block on this side, palm heel here, pull, do your elbow block, step up and strike. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So we're only supposed to do that 3. Let's do it 5 times on the dummy. 1. Again, I'll explain a little more this time. 2, lock up, palm heel, pull, walk with the elbow, step to the side, and outward block, and strike the kick. I'm trying not to use too many of the Chinese terms so it's not confusing, making it more basic for my average viewer. If you prefer to know all the terms, let me know, and we'll start using all the terms. 2, upward block, palm heel, down, block, outward block, and push. 3, four, and 5. Other side, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so from there, it goes into those blocks I was telling you about earlier. Double block. So if we start on this side, and we're here, go 1, 2, do the same thing on the other side, the outward block and push. 3, and then we're going to curve down and hit, curve down and strike. All right, so I'm going to do that 5 times on the dummy, real slow, kind of go over that way. So 1, nothing's changed yet. Do the upper block, palm heel, grab, the elbow block, stepping around with the outward block and palm heel. Everything so far is the same. Drop this hand like a downward block, this hand like an inward block, and hit both. Upward block, and like a palm reverse hand block. Hit both. Now when you step to the outside, do an outward block, you're going to push it this way. So now your hands can change where this hand does a downward block and this hand does an inward block. Pull this hand down as you come up with that same block we started with, just to the outside of the arm, and then pull that arm down, bringing them into a palm heel strike. So let's do that 4 more times, nice and slow. 2, 'Alright, again with an explanation. 3, bring the hand up, in between the arms, palm heel to the face. Grab the back of the head and pull. Immediately shove your elbow up towards the face, blocking a punch if necessary. Step out to the side, bring that up like an outward block, and strike the kidney area. Bring that like a downward block, and think of it like a hammer fist to the side of the head, or blocking here. Same thing. Block a kick, strike up high, or if they happen to throw a punch kick combination, which is rare unless you're fighting someone who's well trained in your northern style. And then step up and hit outward block and kidney again. Back to the downward block and inward block at the same time. Pull down or hook as you do an inward block. Pull down or hook as you do a palm heel. 3. Block, palm, pull. Elbow, block and strike, double block, block and strike, double block, pull and block, pull and strike. And then you'll see that in Wing Chun a lot. That pushing up, what that's doing is resetting those pins, like I was talking about earlier, so you can get that point out on the arm field. This one's actually a little bit tight. Let me have these arms backwards. Okay. 4. Up, palm heel, pull, elbow, outward block and kidney strike, inward block and downward block, outward block, reverse hand block, outward block, palm strike, downward block, inward block, pull, inward block, pull, palm heel. And 5. Alright, so after we do that whole thing, we'll do it all on the other side. And that will be the complete section 1. So let's go ahead and do the other side. So again, it's upward, hit, pull, strike in between, come out, here, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull down. This time when you pull down, we're going to be under the arm instead of above the arm. So you're going to strike the ribs instead of the face. It's going to be one difference as we change sides. 2, arm up, palm, pull, block, block and strike, double block, block and strike, double block, pull and strike, pull and palm heel. 3. Again, keeping that up. You don't want to go out because I get stuck on another arm, so we're going up here. Not that there aren't techniques that do that. There are plenty of times we do that. It's just not this specific technique. Okay, palm heel, and then pull. I like to turn my body as I do that and hit the forearm. Step out, strike, inward block and outward block, outward block, reverse hand block, outward block, palm heel, downward block and inward block. I'm going to scoop with that inward block. I like to use the sticky hand principle along with that pull and hook with that palm heel. If you know the sticky hand principle, that's just instead of always grabbing or grasping, we can just let friction do the work. If we yank back hard enough, the hand has a tendency to stick all on its own. So we can use that sticky hand principle and not need to always grab. So long as we're putting pressure on the skin so that the friction catches at some point. Okay. 3, up, palm, pull. Forearm, outward block, and palm heel. Double block, outward block, and palm heel. Double block, pull in and block, pull in and palm heel. Okay, so let's go ahead and learn another type of block since we're on the Wing Chun dummy. So if you take my classes, we've done a lot of hard blocks. Hard block generally means the fist is closed, right? We've got inward block, we've got an outward block, we've got a downward block. I have to go kind of low, but we've got an upward block. All those are hard blocks. hard is basically the fist, the tight, the fact that we're throwing a lot of pressure. We can use these to break bones if we hit in the joints. We can use them for locks if we happen to grab and go down to a downward block. Now, obviously, we can use them as a strike or a block. But they're slow. It's pretty slow to come in and hit with that. It's a lot faster just to pat it or touch it. So you can step up and you just slap it, right? Hit it with an open hand, or what's called a soft hand block. So we have these soft hand blocks, and it's almost the same thing, almost the same motions, except for we always hit with the palm and keep the hand open. So instead of stepping up inward block, we step up inward block, and you see it's not going to do as much damage to the limb. The advantage of taking that extra time is when it hits that limb, it can deaden that arm, it can frog the leg, it can do a lot of damage. Whereas this palm probably isn't going to do anything but push the technique out of the way. But it does give us position to throw a follow-up strike. I prefer soft hand blocks myself because I generally don't have a lot of extra time, especially when working with a bigger opponent where I can't afford to get hit. I have to get in, get my hits in, get out, reevaluate the situation, and see if I need to go further, see if I've done any damage. I mean, you could argue if you're in there and you're getting hits in, stay in, but if you're not doing any damage, then they're a lot bigger and stronger than you and a better grappler, and they get a hold of you right there, you're now somewhere you don't want to be, and you've got to fight yourself out of the situation where you're at a disadvantage. Whereas if you can get in there, hit them 3 or 4 times, they may be surprised and you can kind of push away and see how they've reacted. And if you've gotten your point across, they may go away. Or if you haven't, you may have to do it again a little bit harder, or you may see that you're not going to win that exchange and you need to start to find an escape route if you haven't already. But staying inside with a bigger guy is great, so long as you're the ones landing the punches and they're not getting a hold of you. But if they're a lot bigger and stronger than you, and they get a hold of you, you're now in trouble. So we want to avoid that. So just to get used to that, I want to just step up and practice these blocks. Now, whenever I do an inward block, all you really have to do is push, touch it, because it doesn't matter how hard they're punching. If the energy is going forward, there's nothing holding it from side to side. So if all their energy is focused forward, the slightest little pat sideways will throw it off course. Keep it from hitting you. But I like to kind of point my fingers and drop my elbow and my heel at the same time, like a Tai Chi strike. That palm heel strike. I love doing that palm heel strike. When I do my soft hand block, I do that palm heel strike. It does a little more damage, and what I find is by doing that, instead of touching it, it pushes it further out of the way. It gives more of a jerking reaction. Almost like a hard block, but not quite. A little bit different. So I'm going to step up and strike with that soft hand block. And just to give a follow-up strike, since we're there already, let's go ahead and do a knife hand right back. Let's do that 5 times, because they've struck, we've pushed our hand out of the way, their neck's going to be open. We might as well take the shot. That'll give us a good chance to flee and get away if they're sitting there holding their throat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. Same simple technique. Soft hand block. Chop right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So you don't want to chop to the throat. Turn that into a back fist to the head. Real simple technique. Okay, so let's move on and do a couple of more just regular self-defense techniques. Let's do one called crashing anvil. I think it's either in blue or green belt in the Schwan Fall system. So crashing anvil is off of a double punch. You want to do the soft hand block, then they throw another punch, So we're doing an outward block and palm heel at the same time, right? So we're going to the inside. They throw the first punch, we push it. They throw the second punch, we're here. Well, right after we've hit him in the face, we're going to go ahead and hook behind. So when we hit him in the nose, they'll probably rock back a little bit. We've got a hold of that arm so we can pull it and hook the back of the neck and pull down towards us. These are all those principles you just learned from Wing Chun, but they're used in Kempo and Chuan Fa as well. All right, so 1, inward block, outward block, hook, and pull. As we're pulling them into our knee. And we'll stop there. There is more to the technique. It's just a throw and a kill move, but for simple concepts, we'll stop there. All right, so let's do that 3 times in the air, both sides, and we'll do it 3 times in the dummy. So 1, it's going to be soft hand block, do an extended outward block, grabbing the arm and palm heel, hook, pull into the knee. We've got a lot of options from there. 2, inward block, outward palm heel, pull into the knee. And 3, in, out palm heel, pull to the knee. Other side. 1, now we step up, soft hand block here. Oops, sorry, that was the same one. Soft hand block here, outward block and palm heel, hook, and pull to the knee. So again, they're throwing a punch. Step up, soft hand block to the punch. Extended outward block, grab the hand, palm heel, hook behind the neck, pull to the knee. 1 more time in the air, and then I'll show it to you with a dummy a few times. 1. Sorry. Okay, let's do it on the dummy. So 1, do an inward block, outward block, grab with a palm heel, hook the back of the neck, pull into the knee. 2, and 3. It's one of the things I like about using the dummy. It's like using an opponent who doesn't cooperate, which is what you're going to get in a fight. It's someone who doesn't cooperate, someone who doesn't want to move the way you want them to move. And this does all of those things. So it's a pretty good tool. All right. 1. Try to explain that a little bit better this time. 2. So you're stepping in, soft hand block. This one I do touch, even though I like that strike. It may throw them too far to even think about getting that second hit off if this is my plan technique. It's just never good to say too plan in a technique. Fights change all the time. If you have a plan, it's probably about to get ruined. And 3. Reasons like that too, if you mess up on your own movement, you have to be able to adjust. All right. So let's do another technique. We just did crashing anvil. Let's do another one called, what's that one called? I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll show it to you. It'll come to me. So you step up, you don't block just like before, outward block and palm heel just like before. This time you're going to let go of the hand with a chop back and lean into a hammer fist and palm heel and to another palm heel. If you want, step in, front kick. All right. So you block here, minus hit. That's done good, minus hit. Step in, soft hand block, outward block and strike. Break back through, hit the growing in the nose. One of those double strikes, like before if we were here. Does that look familiar as well? All right. 2, we'll block, outward block and strike, bridge hand, curling to the nose, strike, step in, front kick. And 3. Inward block, outward block, palm heel, chop, hammer fist to the groin, palm heel to the nose, step in and kick. Let's do it on the other side. 1, block and strike, chop back, nose and groin, back to the groin, step in, front kick. 2. And 3. Step in, soft hand block, extended outward block, and palm heel. Come back with a chop, hammer fist, and palm heel. Come back with another palm heel, step in and kick. Let's do it on the dummy. 1, outward block, palm heel, chop, double strike, palm heel, kick. 2, block and strike, double strike, kick. And 3. Other side. 1, inward block, palm heel, chop, hammer fist, palm heel, left palm heel, left front kick. 2, left inward block, outward block, palm heel, left chop, both hands strike, circle and palm heel, step back, and kick. And 3. Soft hand block, outward block strike, chop, hit, circle around, hit, and kick. Alright, so let's end on a quick review of what you should have learned in this class had you done the whole thing. So you should have learned your round kick at different levels, both the chopping version and a straight version, learning how to do it all the way up to the head. You should have learned your front kick, how to stop someone by kicking the shin, learn what a lower abdomen kick is, and learned how to do a precision front kick drill. You should have also learned a little bit of Wing Chun. Had you paid attention to the whole thing, you would now know section 1 of the Wing Chun form, which is here. You would have been able to take some of those principles, learned a couple of Chuan Fa techniques, like crashing Anvil and Midas head. I learned how those techniques relate to the Wing Chun dummy and how you can use them on the Wing Chun dummy. So we'll go ahead and put that away. Let's go ahead and do just a little bit of stretching to end off. Put your legs twice length your shoulders. Bend one leg all the way down. And be in your drop stance. Try to straighten your back up and stay straight up and down in that stance. Let's move over to the other side. Let's go back to the other side. It's time to come up on your heel. And the other side. All right, let's come up a little bit. Grab a wall or something to balance on. Grab your leg and pull it behind you. Count there for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we'll let that down. Now let's just go ahead and end off on a split stretch. Get that final work in. So let's go as far as you can down into a front split. Hold that for a good 10 to 30 seconds. And then relax. Let's try as far as you can into a front split with the left leg forward. And the other way. And up. All right, we'll go ahead and close out there. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for all the support lately. Marcus Albush has almost got their first 100 subscribers on YouTube. Really happy with that, seeing those numbers go up. I'll teach every Tuesday and Thursday live for free classes. Feel free to recommend something be covered in a class or let me know what you want to work on. I'm more than happy to try to help you with your personal goals. You can send me a message on Facebook or wherever you want to. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the final endurance workout for this month. And we'll start planning on what kind of series we might want to do in February. Thank you for watching. See you guys tomorrow.